For the first time this off-season and the first time in 6 weeks, I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Devils player coach Andrew Lord. And Andrew, how's the summer treating you so far?
It's good. Yeah, I got some new teeth, so that was a step in the right direction. And yeah, it's busy, lots of work right now, but it's a good thing. It's an exciting time.
Going back to the end of last season, because the last time I spoke was about 17 minutes after the playoff semi-final defeat against Coventry, and it's fair to say that maybe things were a little clouded in your head then, and it was ultimately disappointing. But 6 weeks removed from the end of the season, so close yet so far, lots of positives, but how do you reflect on 15-16?
I mean, obviously, we would have liked a couple of those trophies. That still stings, still wake up, and, you know, there's definitely a little bit of, I think the bitterness has maybe turned into motivation at this point. But yeah, you remind yourself every day of, you know, how close we came and all those things and all those, you know, thousands of thoughts that run through your head. But I think getting away a little bit, getting away from the guys, from the day-to-day has allowed us to, you know, really reflect, take a different perspective on things. And, you know, we have a big master list now of where we feel we need to improve and get better. And that's what we're trying to do now.
Reading a lot and watching a lot of the NHL at the moment, you know, the Washington Capitals went out this week, and you hear commentators say about they've only got a certain window to win as a team. This team has two cracks at it now. What's your thinking as a coach? You know, is it that this team deserves another go, or you need to make sort of some strategic changes? That game against Coventry, was there a feeling that you maybe wanted the guys to dig in the trenches with you? What's your feeling about how you need to take the team recruitment forward during this summer?
Well, Coventry game was, you know, it was obviously a very disappointing way to go out. I think the thing that's really upset me for the guys in particular is we had a huge group of players that came back this season. They wore their hearts on their sleeve. The way they played, how consistent they were over 2 seasons. When you take out, obviously there's those bad nights, and you know Coventry night was one of those. But when you look at what these guys did for the organization over 2 years, it's pretty impressive. How much quality hockey we played, how well we did. You know, we competed, looking back on it, for probably 5 out of the 6 main trophies over the last 2 years. Yeah, at the same time, we wanted that league title, we wanted that Challenge Cup, we wanted the playoffs. But there's a lot of good people and good players in this organization, and you know there will be some change, but at the same time there will be a good core group back.
So we're 6 weeks in, and I think most Devils fans are pretty happy with what's been done so far. Joey Martin, Mark Richardson, Ben Bounds, and today Josh Batch. Can you speak to those 4 guys and the different qualities they bring to this locker room?
Yeah, I mean all 4 are huge. They all bring a little bit different thing. You know, we were happy for Joey Martin to move on if that's what he wanted to do to a higher end league, but it's a testament to what this organization does and the fan base and the city, and it really is a great place to play, and Joey Martin knows that better than anyone, and that's why he's back, because of all those reasons. He gets treated great here. You know, he loves being a Cardiff Devil, and we're extremely happy to have him, because he would have been a big hole to fill, absolutely. And it's not just his play, but his character, what he does in the room, his relationships with the guys. It's all great. Ben Bounds, huge catalyst. He's coming into the prime of his career. I don't even think we've seen close to his best hockey, and that's a scary thing for other teams in this league, and a very exciting thing for us. I would say the same about Josh Batch. He's only getting better. I think he's starting to enter his prime now as well. He brings a nice dynamic of, you know, toughness, physicality. The fighting's obviously great, but he also has a lot more skill than I think people give him credit for, and he's going to keep improving that.
I was going to ask about, sorry to interrupt your flow there, but in terms of, and he is a very skilled player, and I didn't ask Josh directly when we interviewed him a few moments ago, but for you, in terms of recruitment, the aggressive style he brings, the fact that he can go toe-to-toe with any heavyweight in the league, does that sort of ease your burden a little bit recruiting-wise, that maybe you don't need to bring in another element of toughness? That's a bonus coming from a Brit, I guess.
He definitely helps. Yeah, if you look across the league at the British pool, he's kind of a standoff or standalone in that department as far as what he brings. Yeah, it checks a nice box, absolutely. At the same time, you do want team toughness, and that's always something we're looking at and considering. And then
Mark
Richardson, what can you say? We don't need to say much. He's awesome. He's a true pro. I think he's any coach's dream. He does it all. He's probably gets better over the course of a season than anybody else in the league, almost just because of how he prepares, how he goes about his business. And I also think there's more upside to Richie too. I think his skill set's great. I think he's going to have another great year, and I'm really excited for his testimonial. I want the guys, the fan base, I know the organization, everyone will get behind that, and that'll be special, especially in the new rink. I think it can be a real nice time for him.
I was going to say on the matter of Mark Richardson's testimonial, just 10 years in one club and the level of consistency he brings, he's just a model pro.
He's unbelievable. Yeah, the amount of time he puts in, sometimes he beats me into the rink, which is pretty early. And yeah, he goes about his business, and we're thrilled to have him here back for another season.
Now, Jamie Olsen was speaking to me yesterday and said that fans come into the office, drop off the season ticket forms, make a little bit of chit-chat and always ask, is this downtime? Are you guys relaxing? And I just asked you the same question, but the message from Andrew Lord, no, this is a pretty busy time for you and a little bit of lack of sleep.
Yeah, it's definitely around the clock. The time change to back in North America obviously presents challenges as well. The main time to call is nights, so yeah, it's around the clock, but it's exciting, it's fun. I love this game. I love what I do. I'm very fortunate to be able to do it, and yeah, it's a fun chess game. Absolutely, trying to go against some of these other great coaches and these organizations, and the interesting thing is at the NHL level, there's maybe a smaller pool of players you would look at, where at this level, there's many different leagues that can obviously filter players down, to here. So the amount of players, the amount of information coming in on any given day is it's huge, and to sift through all that's a big job. But again, it's exciting, and we're going to give it our best shot.
So without letting too many trade secrets away, what's your process? Are there certain guys you trust in terms of references, certain agents you trust? Do you look at everybody objectively? What ticks the boxes in terms of a player to go forward for further consideration?
First and foremost for us, and I'm sure every team's like this or similar, is character by far. I'd rather take a player maybe 10% less in skill or whatever it may be if he has that character, that desire, that passion, if he's a great locker room guy. Because I think that when you add up all the sums of a team, that goes a long way, especially when you're going to war. I think we played 75 games this season. It's a long year, a lot of games, and you need a good locker room. So that's a huge one. From there, I've always been big on going through people I know, who I trust. Whether it be ex-players, players that are still playing. I think one fortunate thing for myself and the organization is because I'm still playing. Just because I just moved over from North America a few years ago, I have still great contacts back there, so that obviously helps. And yeah, you're always touching base with agents, players. You're looking for any little in to grab a guy that no one else is on, and then obviously there's those players that I'm sure every team's going for, and yeah, then that's another interesting dynamic as well.
Now, two questions in one here, and you might say no comment to both because I understand there are secrets that stay in the locker room, but four-line hockey became a topic of conversation last year, particularly at the end of the year when Nottingham Panthers took 2 trophies and seemed to have a spark, seemed to have an energy. So is four-line hockey the Cardiff Devils mantra for this season? And in terms of the tweaking maybe of the roster, obviously Tyson Marsh, Brent Walton, 2 veteran guys are not going to be back this year. Are you looking for maybe a little bit more veteran experience in terms of the guys you're bringing in?
I do think the one, we really missed Wally and Marshy, especially when the going got tough there and the amount of games was high, and not only for their play, but just the character that you touched on in the room. They're both awesome. Marshy, serious, energetic guy. Wally, serious come game time, but a real, he sets the mood, he lightens things up, he keeps guys from getting nervous or whatever it may be, and we definitely missed those 2 guys for large chunks of the season. So yeah, we need to do a little bit of tinkering, try to get a little bit more energy in that on that side of things and in the room, and a little bit more maybe swagger, so to speak, and that comes through veteran guys. So yeah, we're keeping that in the back of our mind. And then as far as four-line hockey, it's something we're looking at on a daily basis, considering our options. We got a few other things that we're trying to do here, and if they come through, then it could be a potential. But right now, it's really up in the air.
And this one will probably definitely get a no comment, but I am just going to throw it in there anyway. You've brought back Bounds, Richardson and Batch. You know, Jones and Pickett always do a great job, but is that sort of the British contingent you're looking at, or could there be possibly new British faces in Cardiff this year?
We just like every team, we've looked hard at the Brit pool. Absolutely, there's a lot of analysis there. I think the interesting with the Brit pool is it is fairly small, and you know, most players are, you know, whether they're under contract yet or not, most of them are pretty loyal to the club they've been at. But yeah, there's been some talks. There'll be some more talks going forward here, and we'll sort of see how it shapes up.
So away from the scouting and the recruitment, away from getting the teeth fixed, what else does the summer have in store for Andrew Lord? Are you going away? Are you watching the NHL at the moment? Have you got a pick for the playoff bracket? And what does the rest of the summer hold for you?
I've been watching some replays of the games. Once in a while, I'll stay up. I like the weekend games because you usually get the matinee, and that's nice. You know, you get like an 8 o'clock start here, so that helps. I like that Western Conference right now. Fun to see St. Louis and San Jose get through finally. I've been picking both those teams for years in pools, years and years, and they just, again, that's a team that both those teams had to learn how to win, and it looks like now they're finally taking a run at it. So yeah, a little bit of that. Other than that, it's hockey all the time. May get away for a week here and try to get a bit of color. We'll see. Other than that, I'll head home and see the family and see my sister and her husband, and that'll be nice. Nice to touch base with them. But yeah, it'll be full tilt here.
And the next priority as we wrap up this interview, I believe Deese is sorting out lunch, isn't he?
I hope so, yeah. We got to get him to do something, right?
Andrew, great to catch up with you. Hopefully we'll catch up with you again in a few weeks, give the fans an update. But good luck with everything, and bring on the success for the Cardiff Devils.
Thanks so much.